Hello, YouTube. Are you ready? This is the second of two AliExpress building experiences. If you remember last time, my video from last week, I got the knockoff Lego set of Wall-E. The second one is even more impressive. And I thought that these two kits would be similar in number of pieces, build time, etc. I was way off. Wall-E took me, I got him done all in one night within a couple hours or whatever it was, whereas this one took me numerous sessions over a couple of days, so at least twice the amount of time, probably more than twice the amount of time as Wall-E took. So, but also much more satisfying and a much cooler addition to the man cave. And before I go on and on and on about it, let's just tell you what it is. Behold the glorious, beautiful, sexy, beyond impressive majesty of the Ferrari F40. The Ferrari F40 is one of, I believe, 5 supercars, technically dubbed supercars, released by Ferrari over the years. The Ferrari F40 was released whatever first initially sometime back in, I think, the late 80s, early 90s kind of era in there. I don't remember exactly, but when it came out, I remember Road and Track had this issue that was entirely devoted to Ferrari, and it had so much Ferrari information in it. And the big thing was the reveal of the F40. And I remember the first time I saw that car, and I was like, holy shit, this thing is just a beast, you know? And I remember that the headlines in the magazine were like, back then, getting up over a regular kind of sports car, getting up over 200 miles an hour was a big deal, and this one was like topped out at 201 or something like that, and it was barely street legal and that sort of thing. And I was just thoroughly impressed with this vehicle. And back in the late 80s, I was a big fan of Barago or Barajo, whatever it is. I don't know. They make die-cast cars, and they have different scales of them too. I think the ones I used to get were they're not 124, because 124s are about that big. They're a little bigger. Maybe 118. I don't even know if that's maybe too big, but somewhere in between 118 and 124 most likely. And so they're fairly big. They're a good size. They're about that big. And it was a die-cast steel version of the Ferrari F40, and I just loved this thing. It was on my shelf. I would play with it all the time. I'd just sit there looking at it. I had some other ones too. I had Lamborghini, Countach, Diablo, a Viper, that sort of thing. But this thing was just like, I don't know, it held my imagination unlike no other car had up to that point, right? So, and I just remember the other unique features to it, like how the both the hood and the back end where the engine was, like, basically the whole car would lift up. Like, the hood was just like, it just, everything looked heavy on it, right? Like the whole front end of the car tilted up to get into this tiny trunk at the front of the car. And then likewise, you had to lift up the whole back end of the car to get at the engine, which was huge and just took up the whole back end. And also on that hood, it was almost like clear plexiglass-like material, so you could see right through that whole rear compartment into the engine and look at the engine. So everything about this car was just so unique and different and cool. And to this day, it remains one of my very favorite sports cars, if not the. I don't know. I'd have to really sit down and think about my list, right? But this one's right at the top. So the kit I got, obviously, is the knockoff Lego version of a Ferrari F40 kit. So like I said, it took me many sessions to do it. At first I thought I was missing some pieces, but I just read the instructions a bit wrong, so I corrected that in the end, so everything panned out nicely. It even came with stickers I got to put on it, so the thing just looked amazing. It's the same as I commented with Wally, like the plastic of these knockoff Chinese sets or whatever they are, the plastic is really close to Lego quality. It's not quite. Some of the colors are a little off from other colors within the same set. Like in this one, you can see some of the smaller pieces are a darker red, whereas some of the longer, bigger pieces are a lighter red, or more Ferrari type of red. So there's a bit of discoloration here and there, but the plastic is pretty close in quality to Lego. It's not that far off. So for the vast difference in price you pay, for these knockoff sets, it's worth it, you know. Like I said, unless I was getting something I really wanted and I wanted the full quality, like a really cool Star Wars set or whatever, I would go with the Lego. But for anything like these ones that I would never plan on buying unless I got a good deal on them, it's a no-brainer, right? So so yeah, everything went together well. No missing pieces. So let's just have a look at the time-lapse build, and then I'll do a little summary afterwards with the actual vehicle, show you some pictures, and we'll be all done. Okay, so here we have the fake Lego Ferrari F40. As for, you know, this is how it looks. Bootylicious. You can pop out those rims and have just like kind of a raw, rugged, rough, stock kind of rim as well, which I might do at some point just for shits and giggles. But you know, it looks just like a Ferrari F40, as you know, as far as a Lego kit can probably come. You'll see some of the sticker details there, the F40, the license plate, the Ferrari decals and stuff everywhere. So a lot of people don't know the Ferrari F40 actually has two sets of headlights. These ones down in front, sorry, are the regular ones that are kind of always showing, and then these ones here actually flip down. They're usually down, so it just looks like those are the only sets of headlights, but they actually have the ones there that flip up. Other features that this one has, you can of course open the doors. The seats are a little bit adjustable, see how they can go back and forth and that sort of thing. Inside there's a parking brake, a gear shift. You can see it there, some gauges. The steering wheel has the Ferrari logo on it with the sticker there. In terms of the front of the car, the hood flips up, and there we have what I'm assuming is supposed to be maybe a battery and then some sort of pump or whatever, reservoir for some sort of fluid or whatever. So there's that. And then in terms of the back goes up. There is Mr. Motor. You can see it doesn't quite look quite like the real Ferrari F40 as you can see in the actual pictures, but not so much concerned about that as the look of the actual car itself. And then of course it comes with the stick. Oops. Sorry for this camera work. I've only got two hands, unfortunately. But that holds it up just like you saw in the pictures of the real car too. It's got this big rod that holds the massive back end up so the engine can be accessed. So overall, like I said, especially for the drastic drop in price compared to the regular Lego set, you can see it looks pretty good, right? That is a good looking kit. Just for your own kind of interest, the parts that I thought I was missing were right up here in the roof. There's blue connector, like tubular pieces that go through here connecting all these pieces together, and I kind of misread the instructions, and they're just little square parts, and the ones on the inside have holes in them to connect to those rods. And I thought they needed it for all of them, but it needed the solid ones on the outside without the holes, and I thought, they didn't give me enough holy pieces, right? But then I thought about it after the fact, and I'm like, I'm an idiot. So, because I had lots of the regular square pieces left over, but none of the circle ones. So then I thought about it, and I'm like, I am a stupid moron. I've done enough Lego in my life to realize what was going on there, right? So I got it all fixed up. So that is the completed Ferrari F40. I love it. It was a ton of fun to build. Hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll be scouring AliExpress in the months and years to come, and who knows, another set or two might grab my interest, and maybe we'll be back here again. Till then.